Good morning, sir. You got a lot of train cars out here loaded with big shiny silver things. What are those things?
Yeah, these are actually wind turbine components. They're Vestas 3.0 megawatt wind towers that are going up to the Terrigen job site up here between Mojave and Tehachapi.
Okay.
They'll be being installed on the, let's see, the south side of Oak Creek Road, up around the concrete plant and heading back south towards Mojave. In this phase, we have 190 turbines that are coming into the Mojave DC rail spur, which is right here at the Mojave Air and Spaceport.
Sure.
We're working on the first 50 towers right now. We have trains scheduled to come in 2 a week all the way to the end of February.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
So the train that's out there right now is actually 16 tower sections.
Okay.
What the towers consist of are a base section, a lower middle section, which those are both 80 feet long.
Okay.
And then you have an upper mid and a tower top.
Okay. 3 sections.
There's actually 4 sections.
Oh, 4. Okay.
4 sections of the tower, and the way they erect those is the base, the lower mid.
Sure.
They grout those.
Okay.
And then they put on the upper mid, and then the top section with the nacelle, the hub, the nose cone, and then actually the blades. These towers they have elevators that are equipped inside of them, so it's like a man lift inside that actually takes the people that service the towers to the top of the nacelle. I'm scheduled to bring in 190 towers between August of this year and February, the end of February next year. They're going to have 50 of these towers erected by December 31st is what the goal they're shooting for.
Sure.
And then middle of next year they're looking at another phase of possibly 200 more towers. Mike, what's their erection time? 5 days or for one full tower?
It's a process. Depending on this type of turbine here, they should be able to do it in 3 days.
3 days.
Really?
Yep.
3 days up and running.
Yep.
Once they got the
But
stuff.
there's a process to that 3 days. That's man hours and stuff. They have actually, you have to set the base and mid, and that has to be grouted, and you have to wait 24 hours before you can put anything else on.
Sure.
So in the middle of all that, you're doing other stuff. And this type of turbine is set up to where you only put one blade on it at a time, so it makes it a little bit different than putting it together and erecting the whole rotor in the air.
How long are these sections on these rail cars?
These sections here are 80 feet long. The tower top is 116, and the upper middle, I believe, is about 96 feet. That actually sits on top of the 4 tower sections. And then that actually houses the generators that produce the electricity when the windmill blades turn. And then that runs down transmission lines that are cabling through the actual tower sections, and then are transmissioned out to the substation.
This piece here was just lifted off. Now, how much does that weigh?
That one weighs about 86,000 pounds.
Okay. And they're going to set it here on dollies?
On actual railroad ties.
Set on railroad ties, okay.
And it will stay there, and I'll record its location, its serial number.
Right.
And it will stay there until we ship it up the hill. Towers are steel, and the actual blades are made out of steel and fiberglass.
That section looks to be maybe 12 feet, 15 feet?
It's about 12-foot diameter on its thickest side. And 80 feet long. I've been working diligently with the airport to try and keep the dust down to a minimum, especially with the White Knight and the space program here at the airport. It's a definite serious concern of ours, and we're doing everything we can to mitigate that problem.
Do they charge you extra for having ringside seats for White Knight 1 and 2? And
no, that's one of the perks of the job. We get a freebie on that one. So.
This is one of the top pieces. The blades screw on to those, or bolt on to those 3 round places on the side of this construction.
Amanda was in charge of helping RHS get backpacks for back to school, the Costco Fresh Start Backpack Program. We went to it. And what Amanda did is that she held a meet at Burkey Elementary last year, and Costco provided 500 backpacks.
Whoa.
Roseman Elementary.
On Friday, cross country is going to be racing at Mount Stack. It's the biggest cross country meet in the world, literally. So cross country has been doing really good. The boys and girls teams are both undefeated, and so they're looking to put up good times. There on Friday, volleyball is currently 5th in our league.
We had 100% attendance. We've been making about $21 million a year. I understand our attendance right now is about 92%, so we're making considerably less. But even if we just raise that up to 93%, we'd still bring in anywhere from $150,000 to $200,000 more than we are already getting, because that's where we get our money is from students coming to school. Anytime they're not coming to school, we're getting less money. So if we spend $9,950 and make $150,000 to $200,000, that's a pretty good investment. Now, again, it comes back to, are we going to be able to raise it by 1%, or can we even do more? What the DA is basically offering is saying, after you've done all your steps and you've sent your letters to people and you had meetings with the parents and said they need to come to school, if it doesn't get better, they will send letters on DA's letterhead saying it has to get better, and then if they don't, they'll have at least 2 meetings a year where you call people in and schedule them for a time. They'll sit down with the DA who says, hey, listen, this is the law. If you don't do this, you will pay a fine of $400, $500, whatever it is, if your child is not coming to school.
As an auditor, could you explain in general terms what your job is when you go into a district?
Basic terms?
Yeah.
To make sure that the district is spending their money according to the terms of the federal, they receive federal funding. There are different compliance components that they are supposed to meet and spend according to. The same thing with the state. We look at ADA. I mean, there's all different variables. It
Sure.
used to be mostly a financial audit.
Ah.
But now, with compliance coming into play, it's more like, I'll be nice and generous, it's more like 75% compliance, making sure the district follows appropriate procedures and rules.
Mm-hmm.
Not necessarily the numbers. I mean, we look at the numbers too, but they have to follow the rules.
Sure. Randy, sitting at the trustees meeting for the first time, I'm curious to know your feelings about all this discussion about not having enough money to pay the bills.
Well, being a senior this year, it's not as scary for me because I'm not going to be here, but just looking, my brother's a sophomore and stuff, just kind of seeing how it's going to be for him. It looks like it's going to be a hard time, but I mean, nobody has money, so it's just kind of hard for everybody.
And this is Ricky Love at the 2010 Homecoming game at Roseman High School.
What are you doing here tonight?
I just won Homecoming Queen of 2010, Roseman High. Very excited.
Really? Who was the king this year?
The king was Nick Sterling. He was my escort.
Yeah, what would you like to do in the future?
I would like to take on a career of performing arts school. Somewhere in Hollywood or LA, I'm not sure yet. I'm looking forward to it.
Is there anyone you'd like to say anything to?
I'd like to thank my great grandma, rest in peace, for getting me here today and making me the woman who I am.